Bravo Nation? Welcome into NBA DFS Live for Monday, January 27th. I am your host, Ben Hustler, joined by Justin Bales. Yeah, David, it's a somber day, honestly, with the Kobe Bryant news, man. It just was like, it was like one of those things where I just kept like hoping that like it wasn't real because it just didn't seem like, I was just hoping that like TMZ got hacked or like just something happened because that's someone I grew up watching, obviously play basketball. That's someone that got me interested in the game of basketball when I was younger. It's just sad, man. Like, it's just really, that's one of the biggest, like, tragedies I can remember of my life, just the way that it happened and just, like, shockingly and stuff. And I know Bales reacted, like, very similarly to me, but, it just, like, it just doesn't seem real. It just sucks. So I didn't even really play DFS yesterday because I just like was like, this is stupid.
Yeah, I didn't at all either. I don't know. It's just like literally just like a tragic event. There's like no other way to really explain it, I guess.
Yeah, some people like I saw a lot of people just like struggling to like understand like people that aren't involved in sports, but like Kobe was bigger than sports, man. He not only was he a global icon, but like literally anybody that was in high school with us, like whenever you just like throw like a piece of paper at the trash, like you say Kobe, like people don't even know who he is, but they say it. And like he was just bigger than basketball, especially after he got done playing. He was just so involved in other things outside of basketball, but it just sucks. And honestly, like I know some people didn't like Kobe like when he played. For those people, he got even more likable after he was done playing. He really was just getting started. He was so young, but it's just so stupid, dude. Like yesterday, I just was like sad the whole day.
Yeah, I feel you. It was. I feel like I don't know. Everyone makes it into a bunch of other stuff. Like Kobe being on the helicopter was tragic, but like it's tragic to everyone that was on it, including multiple children. So I feel like everyone's trying to turn it into like a pissing match where they're like, Kobe died, and then other people are like, yeah, but the other people were worth so much more. And it's like 9 people died. Like, just we don't need to turn this into, like who's the most important, and like every single life was important. That's what it is.
Yeah, Frosty said that there was Kobe jerseys everywhere in LA yesterday. I went out to eat yesterday for my uncle and my dad's birthday. Their birthday's a day apart, and we went out to eat in the evening. I was going to wear my Kobe jersey, but I couldn't find it. It probably wouldn't have fit me because it was from when I was younger, but I was just going to wear it anyways, but I couldn't find it, but it's sad. Couldn't even get to see the Lakers win one more championship. Yeah, I saw ESPN's playing his last game day at like 9 o'clock or something, so I'll definitely watch that, but if you guys want to cheer up, Bales and I last week, I think it was the last time we were on the stream, we're just giving, it doesn't matter, basketball, whatever, we're giving away winners. Drew McIntyre plus 1,000 to win the Royal Rumble. We called that on the stream. If anybody actually bet that, you're welcome. That was, it doesn't matter the sport anymore, Bales. We're just like,
it's any sport. I'm thinking about just throwing my hat in like a bowling or something.
Dude, bowling is the one sport, like, I'm not going to sit here and say like I'm super athletic, but I'm somewhat athletic. Like if you saw me, I feel like a lot of people in the DFS industry are like older people. They've just been around forever. But I'm like at least decently athletic. Bowling is the one sport, and I will consider bowling a sport, so don't like get that or even start with me. I will consider it a sport, but that is the one sport I'm horrible at. Like, I'm garbage at bowling.
I went bowling on Friday night? Yeah, Friday night at like 10 p.m. or something. So, it's just getting to be my bedtime at that point anyway. So, I'm already tired. We play the first game, right? And I bowl a respectable 143. I don't know if we have any bowlers out there, but 143 isn't that bad, I don't think. So we play a second game in which, man, I could not hit the pins to save my life. I think I bowled like a 112 or something. It was pretty bad. And then I decide I'm going to bowl left-handed. And if you know me, I can do virtually nothing left-handed. And I dropped a cool 97. With 2 strikes lefty.
Oh.
So I don't know if you
Dude,
want to basically say I'm a pro bowler or
I'm so bad. I like to go bowling. It's fun to do. I'm just horrible at it. But it's bad for me because my grandpa is really, really good at bowling. So then my dad and my uncle are also really good at bowling because they grew up with him. So they destroy me, dude. My uncle didn't. My uncle hadn't bowled in like 10 years. The last time he went, he literally rolled out of bed and bowled like a 255. And I'm
a
like,
255. That's
yeah, dude, it's insane. They just like they grew up bowling like a ton, like every week. So
what do you generally bowl?
yeah, I'm like low 100s, dude. I'm garbage. And then they're like beating me by like 100. I'm like, this is horrible. So I can't go bowling with them. I'll just go with
Well,
like other people.
we get there, and it's me and three of my friends, and I mean we're all like a little under 25. Well, there was this lady that was, I don't know, like 40, 45 that just got there right after us with her husband and their kid, who's, I don't know, it was probably like 15 or 16. But we're sitting at the table and she like tells us to move. And we're just kind of like, no, like this is our lane's table, because every lane has a table. They just thought that it was theirs. And I'm like, no, like yours is back there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not being a jerk or anything. Well, she's doing that whole, you know how like your foot slides out after you bowl and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Like professionally. Mine doesn't. I
Right,
just throw the
right.
ball.
Yeah,
But
I don't
she's doing it, like her kid's doing it, her husband's doing it.
know.
And every time they do it, they like come into our lane. And obviously you don't bowl when someone else is bowling, so, but it's just kind of annoying that you have to stand there and watch them do such ridiculous stuff
Oh yeah.
at 10 p.m. at night at a casual bowling event. I'm not joking. You would think that they're like pro bowlers. I looked over and their scores were like 50s, 60s, and they're on like the 8th or ninth frame and stuff. I'm like,
That's how
you
it is.
got, oh,
Dude, that's how it is in golf. And I know Anthony knows this because Anthony golfs a lot. But people act like they're like on the PGA Tour when you go golfing. It's stupid.
really?
Yeah. Dylan said he got goosebumps when Edge returned. That was pretty cool. I will not lie.
He signed a 3-year deal, so he should
Yeah,
be back.
so he's going to be up against Orton at WrestleMania, I would guess.
Yeah, that's my assumption too.
Yeah, that should be cool. But all right, the reason we're kind of just talking about nonsense is this basketball slate is absolutely horrible. First of all, we have all this injury news that we're kind of waiting on, and then the biggest thing is we don't know if Harden's playing or not. Like he was like out and then moved up to questionable. I'm assuming he's probably gonna play, but the game is like 2 hours after lock, so we might not even know. And if that happens for FanDuel, I mean, you can't even play. If you don't know if he's playing or not, you like can't make a lineup where there's no late swap. Like at least DraftKings, if you get the newsletter, you can move around and you can get onto him. Because if he plays, he's a must play, and it does affect other things as well. But for FanDuel, if we don't have that Rockets news, it's like unplayable for me. Like this is a really stupid site. So for injuries, obviously, like you said, Westbrook's out. Capella's doubtful. You know, I'm assuming he's not playing. Harden's questionable. So if Harden's in, he's the top play on the slate. Capella being out bumps Hartenstein up as one of the top value plays on the slate. And then you also have guys like Eric Gordon, House, Austin Rivers, Chris Clemens. Like those guys we can consider. Clemens, I would feel better about if Harden didn't play. I don't know if I would want to play him if Harden is in. Rivers, you can play either way. House, I think you can play either way. Gordon, you can play either way. If Harden's in, they're just going to stagger Gordon and Harden like they did the other day when Westbrook missed. But that really kind of dictates the slate. And then we have all of these Heat injury news as well. So Butler, Dragic, Kendrick Nunn, those guys are questionable. If they're out, Tyler Herro, Duncan Robinson, those guys are going to get a bump up. But I don't think all of them are going to miss. We'll just have to wait and see. And then Aldridge is out. So like some of the guys in the front court get a bump up. Like Podol obviously is going to be pretty chalky at his price now. Rudy Gay would get a little bump up. And then for the Bulls, Lauri Markkanen and Wendell Carter Jr. are out again as well. So Thad Young has been kind of like the popular value play from them with those injuries, but he hasn't been super productive as of late. He hasn't played though, and Levine's just going to keep just doing whatever he wants with those guys out. I mean, he's been on a tear. He's almost 10K on DraftKings now, so he's a good tournament play. But that about does it for injuries. It's just like it's really hard to analyze the slate if we don't know if Harden's going to play because that's such a big factor. But we'll run through the positions here and who we are targeting. At point guard, like I said, I think Rivers and Clemens are in play. Clemens more so if Harden's out. If Harden's in, it would be Rivers for me. I think Luka Doncic is a great play. We have so much value on this slate. It's relatively easy to get to him if you want. De'Aaron Fox is a really strong play as well. And then, like I said, I like, I don't know, for tournaments at point guard, I would probably narrow it down to like Derrick Rose and Colin Sexton, both in that Cavs-Pistons game. I like them, but I don't see getting to them in cash over someone like Fox. And then obviously you have Luka to spend up on, and then Rivers as the clear value play.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'll add a few tournament plays. Michael Carter-Williams is 3,300. I think he scored almost 40 in his last game. Like, he's not going to play huge minutes, but he'll get like between 20 and 25. So really a guy that has triple-double potential in that amount of time can always go off. DeJounte Murray and Darius Garland are both pretty cheap. You can really use both of them. And then someone like, I kind of say this like every night, but all three of the guards for Oklahoma City, which is Gilgeous-Alexander, Schroeder, and Chris Paul, they all come with a ton of upside, and they still stay relatively low priced. I'm not sure why. And they obviously get a great matchup against Dallas, so any of those three can be used tonight as well.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I had SJ at shooting guard, so we'll move over there. Feel really good about him at shooting guard. Paul, I think, is fine. I just like Fox more. I think I like Rose more, but I don't have any issues with him if you want to play him. Gilgeous-Alexander is probably my number one shooting guard today. Andrew Wiggins, I think, is fine at his price. DeMar DeRozan, I'll save for small forward because I really like him as well. And then you kind of have Mitchell, and then the Rockets value guys. Levine, like I said, I think is a really good play, but at his price, it's just tournaments for me. But pretty narrow pull at shooting guard, I think, for me today.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I'll just add Seth Curry and Tim Hardaway Jr. Both come with upside. They're relatively cheap. And I know Oklahoma City has like a solid defense. I wouldn't say it's like very good or anything, but it just seems like they give up these massive fantasy games to players.
Yeah, especially like recently. I feel like it's been like that. But I feel like it's been magnified recently. But small forward, DeRozan, obviously, like DeRozan's been playing really well, and then now you have Aldridge out, so that kind of helps him out. Gordon, really good play. I think regardless of if Harden plays or not. Butler, I would be interested in if he plays. We just, need to know if that's going to happen or not. And then, you kind of have the cheap guys are like Rudy Gay, Daniel House. Who would you prefer of those two for like a cheap guy?
I would probably just take House. He's going to, he'll be locked into big minutes, where Gay, not that I don't think Gay's role changes, but I can't see Gay playing like 30 minutes tonight. I think it probably bumps to like between 20 and 25. So yeah, he comes with plenty of upside, but I kind of feel like, especially in cash games, I would just take the 30 minutes with House.
Yeah, if Gay is going to be popular, I don't want any of him. But I think you could look at him in tournaments. I don't want him if he's going to be popular, though, so I agree with that. Duncan Robinson, like I said, with the Heat news, I think you could bump him up as well, depending on who misses there. And then Bojan Bogdanovic, I think, isn't playing his price on DraftKings specifically, but DeRozan and Gordon really stick out, I think, to me the most here.
I agree. I'll add Joe Ingles, too. He kind of has lost a bit of minutes, and it's made him more inconsistent, but he's only 5,400, so it's not really a bad play.
Somebody has Conley at 3,900 on FanDuel for GPP. I know it's weird to see Conley at that price. Like, you want to play him, but he just hasn't. He hasn't been getting the minutes. Yeah, he hasn't topped 20 minutes in his last in the 4 games. So no, I'll pass.
I'd also pass on that. I mean, yeah, it's so weird that he gets so much money to sit on the bench. It's good to hold him.
So I don't know. Even though it's a big name at that price, you would be better off playing someone like if Harden was out, Clemens I think will play more minutes than him. Rivers is going to play more minutes than him. So I just feel like you're better off taking one of those guys. Power forward, Hardenstein, I think is the guy you're playing here, especially for cash games. But even then, for tournaments, when you get these really cheap guys that you know are going to play and they've been productive in this exact scenario before, it's just hard to fade them. So, like if I was building 150 lineups tonight, I'd probably just have 100. Like I would just lock in Hartenstein. So I'm going to be playing him. I think like you can look at Thad Young, like I said, with the Bulls injuries, like especially because he hasn't been playing that well, he's going to be low owned. So I don't mind that as like a leverage play. Like just pair him up with Hartenstein in tournaments. PJ Tucker, everyone's favorite player, I do think is in play for GPPs. And then Bielitsa, I think, is a really strong play at his price. And with everyone focusing on like the cheap guys, he might go a little bit lower on because everyone's going to go stars and scrubs because there's so much value. So getting some of those guys that are in that mid tier, I think, might be interesting. But he's been playing really well, and he's affordable relative to what he's been doing. So
yeah, I mean, you pretty much outlined everyone. If you want to take like a shot on someone like Dorian Finney-Smith, he's going to have to play big minutes, and he could drop like 30 for only 4,500. So I don't think it's a bad tournament play, but with all the value, there's no real reason to play him in cash games.
yeah,
essentially, I mean, honestly, it's so annoying when stuff like this happens because we talk about a bunch of different players and like, oh, you can use this guy, but really you're just going to play Hartenstein here, and if you don't, you're probably just going to lose.
Yep. Yeah. So PJ Tucker's not out. It's just like Hartenstein's upside's higher than Tucker, so I would prefer him, and he's literally like the mid price, so you were just playing him. But I don't mind Tucker, especially in tournaments. It's just like the focus is going to be on the Rockets. Like people are going to be playing 4 Rockets in cash tonight, so
which I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. This isn't a good slate. Tomorrow will be better, but it just bums me out. Like I was excited that we have all these like decent sized slates this week, and then we just get this dumb injury news and stuff today. It's just kind of annoying. But we'll finish up at center here. Drummond, I think, is the clear play, but like you have Drummond and now you have Podol for the Spurs. So like FanDuel, you can only play one. So like who are you playing, right? You're playing the cheap guy. Or are you playing Drummond? It's kind of tough. DraftKings is a little bit better because you have utility, so you can play both of them. But they're the clear top plays in my opinion. The Cavs are just so bad defensively. Drummond, I feel like I would have to pull up the numbers, but he has a really strong history against the Cavs just in general throughout his career. And obviously they're just not a good defensive team. They're not a good rebounding team as of now. So good
Drummond is averaging over 60 fantasy points a game against Cleveland in 3 games this year.
Yeah, and I think like if you look at his whole career, it's like that. Like it started out, he was like kind of mad that they didn't draft him because they had picked before the Pistons. So he always had that kind of narrative, but always just gone off against the Cavs, I feel like. Towns, great tournament pivot. Everyone will, if people are spending up at center, I think they're going to play Drummond today, especially on DK because Drummond's under 10K. So I think Towns is a strong, leverage play, or even just pairing them together because you can use Hartenstein at power forward. So, if you want to avoid Podol and just plug in Drummond and Towns, I think that's interesting. And then Vucevic, I think, is fine in tournaments as well, but I think it's clearly Drummond and the value plays.
I think for me, it's going to be almost impossible to avoid Podol.
Yeah.
Like he's just almost the min priced, and realistically, he's probably going to have to play like 30 minutes tonight. Even if he gets 25, he's averaging like well over a fantasy point per minute on the season, isn't he?
Yeah.
So like
I've played him a couple times, like when Aldridge plays. Like I played him one time on FanDuel. It was like New Year's Eve or something. I think I played him against the Warriors just because he was like so cheap, and if he he can get over a point per minute, so he might not be that bad.
Even if let's say his efficiency drops like big time, but he's still playing 25 to 30 minutes, like he's easily going to exceed value. I do agree that Towns is a really good tournament pivot because realistically no one's going to play him over Drummond. I also think it's just a good matchup because now you don't have Capella defensively. Realistically, Hartenstein's probably not going to be able to keep up with the Gobert, and if they pull Hartenstein at any point, like their next biggest guy is basically PJ Tucker, so Gobert should eat tonight. And he's been consistently dropping 50 plus, and he's only 9K, so I feel like that's just a solid option if you want to pivot off of Drummond tonight.
Yeah, on FanDuel, Drummond's 10-5, Towns is 10-4. Who would you pick in that scenario? That
I
might be
don't
a little
know.
bit closer for me, you know?
Yeah, I think I would go Drummond slightly, but only because Drummond contributes so many steals and blocks. So on FanDuel, where they're worth 3, I feel like it's a little more important than what Towns does.
Yeah, it's close. Like in DraftKings, it's clear it's Drummond. He's 96, Towns is 10-3. But where it's only $100, if you're getting Towns for $100 less, I might take Towns on FanDuel, but it's close. It's more of a conversation on FanDuel because DraftKings, it's clear you're just taking Drummond. Luka could have a similar game to Dame. He seemed really shook by the COVID news. Yeah, it's tough to know like about these players because obviously we don't know them on a personal level. But I mean, a lot of guys had really big games yesterday. Trae Young obviously came out in Kobe's number, had a really big game. Devin Booker had a big game. So it's tough to know, but I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of guys want to just go off tonight for Kobe. So Luka's a really strong play for me in tournaments. No problems with him. I play Luka. He was my most rostered player last year. Literally, he's probably up there this year as well. I don't know. If I would guess, he might be my most rostered player this year too. But that about does it. Like I said, I'm kind of bummed. This just isn't a very good slate, and that kind of disappoints me. But tomorrow should be better. Obviously, if you have any other questions, you can hit me on Twitter. We'll be in Discord. Be sure to check out the content at dfscover.com. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for hopefully a better slate.